Greetings! Wait, who am I talking to on this one? Chicago Corner, are you freaking okay, all right, I know, I need the votes. Hello, I'm Lori Lightfoot, the only candidate of color on the ballot that I am consciously aware of. I am reaching out to you on this Marty Taco Gras to ask for your support. Any vote coming out of the South Side or the North Side or the upside, the downside, the fireside, whatever, for somebody not named Lightfoot is a vote for no additional shiny Cloudgate beans. And why on earth would you not want more Cloudgate beans? But whether you like my nonsensical rantings or not, I want to make sure that everybody gets out to vote. And while I'm at it, I have a few things to say about Chicago Corner.
You are watching the Tuesday night edition of Chicago Corner. Woo!
Hello, hi, welcome to Taco Tuesday. Who wants a taco? Yeah, I know. Taco. We're going crazy. All right, everyone, act normal. Perfect. Now, everybody say.
Oh my God! It's Taco Tuesday!
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me turn that on. Yeah, no, I'm not stuck in the void again. Hold on. Okay. All right. Here I am. Hi, everybody. Deep dish pizza enthusiast Edward Heller here with you. Joining me tonight, as always, is Jerry Vasilatos. And I just wanted to say a little thing before I get into that about a thing I saw on Twitter that is just really infuriating me right now. But hold on a second. All right. I'll get the scrolly dealy going and all that stuff. It's all these little things, all these little buttons you got to press at the beginning of the show. It's really, it's like you have to like come up like with a 12-step plan just to get the show going. You know, it's just funny that way. Anyway, oh yeah, we do have, hold on a second. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I still don't know where the links are. Anyway, yeah, so the thing that's gotten me slightly perturbed today is this, and I'll bring in my co-host Jerry Vasilatos to help me out with this one. CWB Chicago posted this the other day. You can see that this is a garage, and we were going to scroll down a little bit. He says, you got to really hate someone to spend $25 on eggs. Because, Jerry, eggs are expensive as hell right now. We got a rich kid on the loose, and he's got eggs.
I haven't bought eggs for a while. What are they going for now?
Every time I go to the grocery store, I look at the price, and I'm like, nope, it's too much.
I don't eat enough eggs, which is what I mean. I think I've still got like maybe 8 in my refrigerator, and I only use them making soup or specialty things.
I think it's like a couple bucks for a dozen still. It's like might be like between 2 and 3. If you get the really good eggs, sometimes they're between 4 and 5. I know my friends out on the West Coast in California way, they're seeing eggs like up in the $9 and $10 range, which is
Wow,
ridiculous. That was when we had all that news with the bird flu spreading through the chickens, and then them having to get rid of a lot of those chickens. So like there was a temporary shortage of eggs. I think they're building up the numbers on that, but it could take a while because how fast can chickens lay eggs, right? Yeah, Arturo says 449.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just for like the regular farm raised dozen. And
Aldi is the affordable store, so it must be much higher everywhere else.
Yeah, we're not talking about like the super cage free roaming organic super eggs here. We're just talking about the regular everyday dozen that they use. That used to be you could go and get a dozen eggs for like $1, maybe $2 if they weren't on sale. Yeah, Arturo says he buys them while they're still in the chicken. Yeah, that's thrifty there. So yeah, hey, whoever's doing this, if you're watching us, I'm sure you're not watching us. If you're watching us, don't do this. You know how many breakfast tacos that you just wasted there on that guy's garage? Or
quite a waste.
How many cookies we could have made with all of that? I think
we need to change your title from deep dish pizza enthusiast to deep dish pizza fetishist. Is that a word?
Okay. Well, I don't know. To be fair, we don't really use eggs in pizza very often.
I know, but I wasn't able to get a word in when I came in. So
I'm sorry, Jerry. It's just
I know you were very, very upset about the eggs. You had to jump into it.
I wanted you to have an opportunity to rant about this, but I told you ahead of time I was going to have stuff to talk. I was like, yeah, this is going to have me angry for a little while. But yeah, so welcome to Taco Tuesday. This is Chicago Corner. My name is Deep Dish Pizza enthusiast Ed Heller, and with me tonight is Friday host Jerry Vasilatos, the king of the crew, I guess. In Mardi Gras terms.
Is that what they say? The king of the crew?
He is the king of Crew Chicago Corner as we float on this live stream on Mardi Taco Tuesday Gras. Mardi Taco Gras. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, here I am.
Anyway, I'm just being ridiculous right now because there's other stuff we're going to talk about that's not so ridiculous, mildly infuriating in its own right. But let's see, where are we in the show notes? We did the wing update. No, not traded for Punchki.
Yeah, I thought that first show note of the chicken wing update meant that there actually was a chicken wing update, but you're just speculating.
Oh. Yeah, well, at this point,
okay.
We just don't know. We still don't know. I think we're like a day out of the court date, and then maybe there'll be discovery where they actually have an idea if she tells anybody where those wings went. Because if she doesn't tell anybody, and they have no way to track down the whereabouts of where that van went, how are we supposed to know? It was almost the perfect crime for her. And
the fact that nothing has come out yet is very, very peculiar. Yeah. Discovery or not.
That's true. But then I'm probably the only person actually interested in solving this case. I don't know if the other investigative journalists are really having the Chicago chicken wing gate on their radar right now. Okay. So, yeah, I guess we're at clown car update again, aren't we?
Well, I see in the show notes, it just says mayoral clown car update. There's been a lot of stuff that has happened this week, and I know some of it is in the show notes.
Yeah, some of it's in the show notes. Some of it I don't think we're really going to have a lot of time to talk about, or the show will go a couple more hours than we really want to go tonight, just because it all has to do with the police pensions and what did and didn't happen for the Rona disaster coverage and money and all of that stuff. And there's a whole lot of opinions still kind of up in the air, and we don't want to dive into that rabbit hole this evening. Well, I don't think. We might talk about it.
One of the things I found interesting from Mayor Lightfoot's press conference today was how adamant she was to make sure that everything that's happening right now is regarding her very, very desperate comments this week about if you don't vote for her and you live on the South or West Side, you should go vote. She said that she's just so focused on wanting to make sure people get out and vote. And I thought to myself, you and I talked on Friday about how there's been so much more early voting this year than in, I think, the previous 2 or 3 election cycles. So
that's true.
Clearly, she hasn't been paying attention to the news. She doesn't have to worry about people getting out to vote because they're getting out to vote. And
I think she does have to worry, though, because she's worried about who voted early.
I understand.
Odds are really good that it wasn't for her.
Yeah, you know? I understand that part of it. And the point being, though, I think that she's obfuscating. I think that she knows people are out voting, but her whole point to making those very inappropriate comments were to deflect, act like that was her main concern when people are out voting. They're out early voting, and she knows they're going to be voting against her. So the deflection that's what her comments were all about were just completely hollow. She was sending out the same kind of dog whistles that Vallis is sending out with Vote Now, before it's too late.
Yeah,
signaling the whole Bernie Epton campaign back when he ran against Harold Washington, and we know what that was a dog whistle for.
Yeah, we do. I'm thinking, should we just jump into the Lori stuff and get back to the other clown card stuff? I'd put it up front, the other stuff up front, because I thought we'd just get it out of the way and then jump into Lori Palooza again.
It's your show. I just thought that, as we were talking about the mayoral clown car, I just wanted to comment on that because I know that there are a bunch of things we're going to be covering tonight. All
right. Well, you know what? Let's go with how I got it set up here, and we may jump around a little bit. But here we go with where is it? Do I have it here? Yes, I do have it here. Okay. That one I don't need right now. Switching around, they're all getting bored. Ed, get on with it already. Okay.
Someone in the chat. Did someone on the chat say that?
No, I'm not even looking at that button right now. It's a little voice in my head. But yeah, while we're talking about the chat, though, I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters for supporting us so that we can do this show. When you support Chicago Corner at patreon.com/Chicago Corner, you are helping us be able to keep doing this show. It's a lot of time doing the research and looking into the stories to talk about so we can entertain you every week. And we really do appreciate our Patreon supporters like Kathy Powers and Dominic Palella and
Shane Coughlin.
Shane Coughlin. And I forget the last one.
Dr. Howard Ehrman from
Dr. Howard, yes,
from the People's Response Network.
Yes, that Dr. Howard, not the one from the Three Stooges short that some people remember.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure you'd appreciate that.
So, Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard. So thank you very much, Patreon supporters, and thank you to everyone in the live chat and everyone who joins us and watches us after the show. We are very happy to have you here. Big Mr. Firebird watching us from the UK. He says those beads must mean Lightfoot's been to Nightmare Fest because Fantasy Fest, that ain't it. She joined us with some Mardi Gras beads on there, clearly to get that Mardi Gras demographic vote, is what I'm thinking. Constitutional Conservative wants us to forget everything that Paul Vallis ever did in Philadelphia.
And here.
IndependentVoterParty.org. Hello, Dominic. He says he's back on Twitter. That's good news. Okay.
Did she show up in public with Mardi Gras beads today, actually? Because I haven't seen.
I
I wouldn't put it past her, given how much she likes dressing up as leprechauns for St. Patrick's Day. But
I know it's hard. It's hard to tell because I mean I'm not really. I mean, she broke into our broadcast with them on. It's not hard to tell if she was wearing them all day. I was not wearing them all day. This is an absolute prop, and you caught me. Yeah, we caught you.
Art, why did you have to call it? Just suggest that image. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Oh, no. Someone. She has underlings who do that, Art. She doesn't acquire beads through those methods. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else in the chat?
Thank you, Constitutional Conservative. Really appreciate the visual.
Okay. Let's see. Dominic says eggs are over $5 even at Walmart. Let's see. Lou says organic eggs are $6.49. Yeah, they're kind of pricey still. What kind of the kind of eggs they served during the Depression? Well, this is the greatest Depression, Art.
I think that the egg coverage thus far, Ed, has been excellent. But yes. I think maybe we want to move into our news.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was just trying to catch up on some of the important chat that we have on our lovely live chat this evening.
I only rush you because I don't mean to rush you.
I know we got a lot. We got a lot to cover. We have some guests joining us later. Okay, so yeah, here we are. Good Kids Mad City. Some of you may be aware of them. They're hosting a mayoral town hall tomorrow, so that's kind of cool.
Right.
I was like, okay, I don't know how much support they're getting from everybody else, although Fox 32 did cover them for a minute.
Forums held by TV stations, newspapers, radio stations, but now one youth group is holding a forum of their own.
Yeah, this is important here. Tia Ewing is in Studio 32 with details on this. Tia?
Anthony and Natalie, the youth wants to hear from Chicago mayoral candidates. Non-for-profit Good Kids Mad City is hosting their own youth-led mayoral town hall this week. They have 5 candidates committed to actually attending. This is one of the only youth-led events that will give youth voices and vision to the candidates running for mayor in Chicago. Participants will speak about how the new mayor needs to pass the Peace Book Ordinance. The ordinance was introduced back in June of last year. It calls for diverting 2% of the Chicago Police Department's $1.7 billion budget, which is about $34 million to fund job training and violence prevention programs. Good Kids Mad City wants a mayor that will back the Peace Book.
City Council has not been so supportive. Lori Lightfoot's administration said that she knows well of the Peace Book, but then when I've met with her in person, she said that she will make sure to reverse herself of the Peace Book and all that it entails. She has consistently and said that she supports the Peace Book, but will not fund it because it is a slogan to defund the police.
She supports it, but she's not going to support it. She's not going to fund it.
Well, because she's running for re-election, and if she supports it right now, then everybody's going to scream at her about that wonderful slogan that we know is accurate but slightly offensive to some people.
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone's screaming at her about other things, and even if she gets in, she's not going to fund this. She's not going to fund it. She's just pandering to these poor kids. Reminds me of when those kids went to speak to Dianne Feinstein about climate change. And they were very concerned about, what their generation's going to face when they grow up, and how she basically just absolutely insultingly disrespected them and what their concerns were because she knew better. I mean, look, Lightfoot didn't go that far here, but it's the same kind of a slight. It's the same kind of disrespect. It's the same kind of pandering and ignoring what are some very pressing issues to a very, very important generation of new voters.
Yeah,
we're going to be left with the mess that this mayor is leaving them. That her legacy. She doesn't want to change the legacy so that life is better for these kids or everybody.
Yeah. So let's see.
It's going to be an interesting forum.
Yeah. So it's like tomorrow, I think between 5 and 7, if this page loads. So, and you can sign up for tickets if you want to attend. And here's the Hold on. Did that go down? Oh, here we go. Here's the link. I put it in the chat, and it's up here on the screen. If you can't see the whole link there, for Good Kids Mad City, and it's on Eventbrite. And if you search for youth-led mayoral candidate town hall, you'll probably be able to find it. So
we had I want to backpedal really quickly for a comment here from Constitutional Conservative. Do you prefer a topless Lightfoot or a Mayor Vallis? Pick your poison. Mayor Vallis, you know what? Paul Vallis is not really a Chicago resident, Constitutional Conservative. I recall the outrage you had when when Fuckface Emmanuel pulled the same con when he put his wife's dress in the basement of the house they were renting to somebody else. So how is it that you're looking past Paul Vallis's residency right now and the fact that his entire family is living in Palos Heights and taking a homestead exemption on that house in Palos Heights? What, because he rented a room in Bridgeport less than a year ago? I'm sorry, you're disingenuous, and I can't take you seriously when it comes to Paul Vallis.
Okay. Where are we at in the show notes? Yes. Let's go with a quick update. I know we don't talk about Cam Buckner a ton, but he had a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, and Anjanette. Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake.
We will get to that. I
thought you said Johnson. My mistake. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I will get Cam Buckner out of the way, and then we'll get into Brandon Johnson. He was campaigning on the Red Line earlier today. You can see in these photos. And then let's see, what else was he doing today? Yeah, he I don't know if this was today, but it was like within the last day or so.
He's really managed to turn that DUI into lemonade.
Yeah, he's trying to. I mean, he
all the time.
I mean, I honestly don't know what kind of chance he has to make it past the runoff, but he's got so many great ideas, and he's actually making efforts for change here. His public transit plans are pretty good. Here he tweets that he says, "Today I release my plan to reform city council. My agenda will take a concrete step."
Ed, yeah. Be right back. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. He says, my agenda will take concrete steps toward making city council operate like a true legislative body. And then he's got a link for his plan, which I guess he's calling his 4-star agenda. I will, hold on, I copy that, put in the show notes. Is that the right link? I don't know. Oh, lucky twit. Okay. It's a Twitter link. So it's gonna open up in Twitter and then forward you to the location where he's got his reform agenda. And I'll see if I can read that stuff. It's kind of tiny type here. Let me zoom in a little. There we go. He says, many candidates have talked about their plans to reform City Hall, but no other candidate has offered concrete steps the next mayor can take to make city government more responsive to residents and representatives of the 77 neighborhoods that make up Chicago. Today, I'm committing to a reform agenda for city council to make it operate like a true legislative body and not a feudal system governed by arcane traditions, said candidate for mayor Cam Buckner. He says, first of all, hold on a second. Where is it? Oh, okay. It's like, did he get rid of that? Okay. All right. Never mind then. He says, first and foremost, Chicago should have a city charter. Every other big city in America has one. But here we've only ever had the Chicago way.
You're not to approve of your methods.
Yeah? Well, you're not from Chicago.
City council shouldn't be a rubber stamp for the mayor. It should be able to elect its own leadership and be governed by rules that prevent unilateral action by the mayor, which Lori Lightfoot took to an extreme during COVID. You guys can read the rest of that on his Twitter account or on that link that I posted. Okay, the third thing for Cam before we get into the rest of the stories here. Okay, yes. Cam Buckner. Hang on. Stand by. Yes, he said he has gone to the Illinois General Assembly, and he has filed a bill for ranked choice voting. So he says in this tweet, let's increase democracy and save tens of millions of dollars in the process. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. He's quoting Abe Lincoln. Municipal ranked choice voting. So HB 3749.
It's about time someone did. I'm glad to see he's done this. I mean, we've been talking about this past couple of shows.
So, I mean, the only downside that I see so far is it's been referred to the Rules Committee, and that is where legislation goes to die. So, that doesn't mean it's not going to make it back out of the Rules Committee, but at least he's making the effort to get the bill in there.
How nice somebody with his visibility is getting some attention on it, in a position of actual leadership, unlike other candidates who aren't talking about it.
Right. And so that was our quick update for Cam Buckner. So he's busy, he's campaigning, but he's also trying to do things for the state and the city. He's trying to make it so that we can opt for ranked choice voting in the future, hopefully, if it ever makes it out of the Rules Committee.
I wonder if he will bring this up at any of the remaining forums before the election to get some of the other candidates on board so that, win or lose, it will stay on the radar.
Yeah, it would be nice. All right, so let's roll over to Brandon Johnson for a moment. Now he's got his Twitter account says punch 5 for Brandon Johnson, so it's like they all do that now. They're all doing the Harold Washington thing. I mean, Chewy does it because he really is number 9 on the ballot, and he has history with that former mayor.
Yeah.
But we got my brain. Hold on a second. I need to lubricate my brain. Yes.
Since Ed is so food focused, I don't feel bad about having my dinner while we talk here on the corner.
Yeah. Actually, Jerry, before we get into that, we need to see what you are eating right now.
I'm starting with delicious mozzarella sticks.
Ooh,
and I will then move on to my delicious stuffed sausage, mushroom, and black olive Chicago's pizza.
Dude, stuffed pizza on Mardi Gras Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a faux pas, but I wish I had done it.
Wow. I haven't eaten all day long, so I apologize to our viewers. I can't wait till we're off at 9:30 or 10. So I'm just going to be grazing over here as we cover things.
And which is fine. Because we're going to take our time, but still we only have so many minutes, and I'm going to get back into this really quick here. Brandon says, honored and humbled to receive the endorsement of Anjanette Young today. Her vulnerability and her strength are an inspiration, and I look forward to working with her to pass the Anjanette Young ordinance and protect the rights and safety of Black women and all Chicagoans. And for those of you who don't remember that, let's give you a little refresher course from Fox 32.
We are in the final stretch of the Chicago mayoral race. The municipal election is now just 1 week away. With 9 candidates running, State Representative Cam Buckner is hoping to set himself apart from the crowd with his plans to reform City Hall. Buckner is calling
we just talked
for
about
a
that.
better process to enable resident-led ordinances and the elimination of Rule 41, which he says gives the mayor just way too much power to shape how the council conducts its business.
What a shock.
Lightfoot is mistaken when she states that this current race is between her and Paul Vallis. That is not true.
Thank you.
She's right.
She's out. And what we've been talking about here, Ed, for the past 2 weeks, mainstream media. What are your choices? Garcia, Vallis, and Lightfoot. They're all horrible. Yeah. I'm voting for Jamal. I like Johnson. But but that said, you and I talked about this before. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Jamal's chances are. If I have to vote in a runoff, I will choose Chewy. only because if this nonsense keeps going on with mainstream media pushing people, because I think he would do the least damage. And I hate to say that. I hate to have to hold my nose knowing that one of these three candidates that mainstream media is pushing on us.
Oh, you mean
the runoff?
You mean out of the three worst candidates, you would choose?
Yeah. Unfortunately, okay. I hate to have to say that, but it's like, given the fact he's kind of progressive, and I hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope this election is over on the 28th. I hope we don't go into a runoff. And I hope somebody like Johnson or Green has a strong shot at it, because those three establishment status quo candidates are just enough, man. It's the same mess we keep talking about all the time. Choosing the most experienced.
Yeah, it's just really interesting because we don't really know who came out to vote early.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people, I think some people were analyzing like the wards that came out to vote early, so they can get an idea of some demographics, but that's really really general, Sure, if you're looking at like maybe one of the wards where it's majority white might have come up for Vallis, but you really don't know until they start counting. So we'll see what happens. I like Jamal, but I like other candidates too. And I
like Johnson very much, and the fact that she's supporting him, I'm very happy to hear that, because he's a good man. He's got a lot of good ideas.
He seems to be one of the better candidates that we had this time around.
Yeah.
And since we got choices. It's unfortunate that we haven't coalesced around certain demographics, because we know that that's going to matter when they count up the totals.
Well, someone else made a point. I can't remember where I read it, that there are so many black candidates running that can't come together that unfortunately will either allow for Lightfoot to win again, or that the important issues that involve them, along with important issues that involve everyone in Chicago, won't be addressed if Vallis gets in.
Yeah, and I think they kind of had a similar conversation about that when Harold Washington was running, didn't they?
I think so.
That was that's we have to follow up on that movie too and find out when it's going to be available.
Dude, I've been looking for it. It's not in streaming, and I think that, so I can speak to that really quickly without getting in the weeds. I think the reason it hasn't been released yet, I'm speculating, but there are a lot of rights issues when it comes to stock footage and licensed footage, and I'm assuming if they don't have a distribution deal yet, it might have to do with the rights being tied up that may have only been granted for a theatrical release. I'm not sure. I want to reach out to the director.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because it was such a super documentary. I'm surprised we're not seeing it, especially during this election cycle right now. It'd be great if it was available on streaming, aside from its theatrical run from, what was it, in December, I think?
Yeah, it was. We were at least fortunate that they extended it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because Jerry and I got to see it, and it's very eye opening.
It's relevant today as it was for the era that it covered. The politics and the rate and the well, we can say identity politics that are involved, and the racial politics that are involved also.
Mm-hmm.
You see Brandon Johnson actually standing there. That's because a major endorsement today coming from social worker and criminal justice reform advocate Anjanette Young. You may recall 4 years ago to the day, Chicago police officers wrongfully raided Young's home. A disciplinary hearing began today for one of the sergeants who failed to intervene as Young stood naked and handcuffed for about 20 minutes. Speaking outside of City Hall, Young says it's also time for Mayor Lightfoot to be held accountable for her failures to protect the city. After meeting with several mayoral candidates, Young endorsed Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson.
Brandon Johnson is someone that I believe in, because he supports the things that matter to me. He supports the things that matter to the Black and brown community.
Can you pause it for a second?
As it relates to
that, dead on, man. In other words, vote for the candidate that best reflects your values, which is what we've been saying here all the time. I'm glad to hear her say it in a different way, but that's what it comes down to, not the three that are thrust upon us by the mainstream news outlets.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like we've got opinions, and we're digging up stories on candidates that maybe you're not aware of. But if you identify with a candidate and they represent your values, it's fine for you to vote your values. It's sometimes elections get a little tricky with the strategy and who has the best chance, and lesser of two
You shouldn't have to vote
weirdos.
that.
And but when it comes down to it, vote your conscience. Vote the way you're going to vote. And nobody should be able to tell you that you can't vote the way you want to vote.
It just alarms me that so many people think that Paul Vallis reflects their values. And
it's disappointing. Really, it's unfortunate because maybe they're just fed information from different news sources that are telling them that he's fine.
Let's examine his values. He thinks it's okay to rent an apartment in Bridgeport, to run for one of the most important offices in the country, while his wife is left to take care of his ailing in-laws. He thinks his values reflect that he can pretend he's a Chicagoan while he takes a homestead exemption on his residence in Palos Heights. Yeah. His values reflect that when he was CEO of Chicago Public Schools, and evidence was brought to him regarding a horrible sexual abuse scandal within CPS, he chose not to investigate it. And we've covered at least 3 or 4 sexual abuse scandals in the past 2.5 years here on Chicago Corner that have, obviously, there's a culture there of acceptance because nobody's investigating and saying, no, this isn't going to happen in Chicago Public Schools. So those are Paul Vallis's values. Oh, and not to mention the fact that the authoritarian order of police here in Chicago support him because he wants to untie their hands and basically undo the important merits of the consent decree. Those are Paul Vallis's values. So again, to anybody who thinks that he's the solution, and we talk about reflect for the candidate that reflects your values, I'm going to hold anybody I hear who votes for Paul Vallis accountable for the fact that if those are the values you support, you might want to re-examine your values. Thank you.
That's an absolutely fair comment. Okay, where was?
And Lightfoot's values are to pander on identity politics. Her values are to legislate and abandon the South and West Sides for 4 years, but then decide she's going to go to them and say, if you're not going to vote for me, don't vote for anybody because I'm the one who's representing you. She's full of shit. She's absolutely full of shit. Her values are to lie and to grandstand and to showboat and to bamboozle people so she could get a position of power to begin with, acting like she was a progressive, and then abandoning all of those progressive promises that she made. So because, she was getting paid out by other interests that wanted to control. And let's talk about Chuy Garcia's values. Jesus.
We could talk about his values later, Jerry, because
really quickly, his values running for Congress and then running for mayor, because one way or the other, he just wants to make sure his interests are served, not ours.
Yeah, and we do have another story a little later about his interests as well, regarding the aldermanic races.
I'll get off my soapbox.
But let's see, let me close that tab so I have a little more memory. And I can close that tab, and let's finish this video.
Police accountability, policy change.
Let me back this up just a couple seconds.
Community, as it relates to police accountability, policy change, mental health services in the community. He is committed to making sure that the trauma that I endured by the hands of the City of Chicago Police Department never happens to another person in the City of Chicago.
Of the 9 candidates, all with exception of 2 have received at least one notable endorsement, except for Roderick Sawyer and Jamal Green. We are in the final stretch.
Wait a minute. No. You got Susan Sarandon's endorsement, and who else?
Yes. He got Susan Sarandon, and who else?
This is an example, everybody, of what we're talking about. That was in the news. There was Susan Sarandon. I'm forgetting the other person. But it was notable that I'm remembering he got 2 important endorsements. And they're saying that he didn't get it. And everybody who's just paying attention to what channel is this? Fox 32.
Yeah.
You're listening here. He got other endorsements, and they are lying, or they're not doing their homework to say he did get those endorsements.
Probably they're not doing their homework, but yeah. All right. Let's jump over to the thing that everybody wants to hear about.
Less than 2 weeks to Election Day, and as Chicago decides who the next mayor will be, a comment from incumbent Lori Lightfoot made over the weekend is raising eyebrows.
If you want them controlling your fate and your destiny, then stay home. Then don't vote.
On the heels of suggesting Southside...
Unbelievable. Unbelievably reckless and desperate.
Yeah.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot voted in person today. CBS 2's Andrew Ramos was there. Andrew, how did she explain that comment?
Well, Jim, the mayor simply acknowledged that she misspoke. Just going back.
Yeah, sure you did. Okay. Before we get
She
into
was
her
pandering
bullshit,
to identity politics, plain and simple.
Before we get into her bullshit, let's jump over to our Lori Lightfoot expert analyst, Lisa Beasley, who plays Lori with a Y in her stand-up routines and also on Instagram and what's the other thing called TikTok.
I reached out to her to have her on the show, Ed, but she never responded. Luckily, we have you filling in.
That's okay. We've got, luckily we got me. Here she is, pretty frustrated about the whole situation here.
A lot of people don't know that my mother is a deacon and my dad was a minister.
Now, I actually turned the volume up on this tab, but she's still basically doing ASMR over here. So I'm going to try not to speak while she's speaking just because it's kind of hard to hear her.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that my mother is a deacon and my dad was a minister. So quite naturally, even though I tried to stray, here I go doing the Lord's work again. During a rally on the South Side, Lori told Black people if they're not voting for her, don't vote at all. Ancestors are rolling over in their graves. Don't believe me? Let's hear her say it.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is under fire tonight for comments that she made while campaigning today. Her opponents are criticizing her for seemingly telling Black voters to vote for her or not at all.
Any vote coming on the South Side for somebody not named Lightfoot is a vote for Chewy Garcia or Paul Valls. That's it.
As if this wasn't risky enough.
Now I'm gonna pause here right now because some of you might have missed this. This was Lori Lightfoot's Super Bowl party spread during Super Bowl Sunday, and Lisa Beasley has a whole separate video analyzing all the elements of this and why it's like why is there just a plate of bread next to chips and salsa and nacho cheese? You gonna make a nacho sandwich? And it, like, just all this. I mean, it's like she just emptied her refrigerator and put it out on the table. So I highly recommend finding Lisa Beasley over on Instagram and watching this video. It's pretty funny.
Does she continue with...
Girl, not only do you want me to re-elect a mayor who ties the top of her sweaters like that, if I'm not voting for you, you don't want me to vote at all? I was going to get into character and say what your mayor should have said, but once again, I'm very tired. Do you remember how happy your grandma was when she voted for Obama? Black history is getting taken away in some schools, so some people may never even learn that people died for our right to vote. You did it to yourself, girl.
It's all about Lori. That's why. It's just about Lori. The promises she makes are empty. And she will make more, like in the beginning of the show, to the group that approached the youth group, that she's always, I support you, but I'm not going to fund it. Fuck her. Fuck her. She, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And that's everything about her in that comment to the South and West Side communities. Don't vote if you're not voting for me, because it's only about her.
Yeah.
That just enrages.
Remarks from Saturday, in terms of just telling people not to vote if they're not going to vote. Any regret right now?
So I'm going to say it again. If you look at what I've consistently said, everywhere that I've gone, I encourage people. I frankly beg them to participate in our democracy, to vote. So if I misspoke, then I misspoke. But
If I misspoke?
She was pandering to the crowd she was talking to, who believe in her because they want to believe that someone that shares the color of their skin is actually going to fight for them. And she took full advantage of that. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
That's what she did when she canvassed, when we went out to that church and she had all of those petition gatherers that she sent out. When Kit and I went down there, we had those audio and technical and video problems, but we were questioning, like, why is she going to a church and why isn't it being publicized? Because she's going to people of faith who trusts, unfortunately, too many people generally and can't see a snake like her.
Yeah, well, and in her case, she's using the fact that she is the status quo. And so all the people who typically are fear change or are afraid of new ideas, she's the new idea that they've already become accustomed to. And so she's basically pandering to them, saying, look, you don't want things to change any worse. All right, maybe she's not telling them any worse, but she's just saying you don't want things to change. I mean,
very clear everywhere. And again today, people need to vote, no matter who they're voting for.
Okay. All right. At least she's right there. Do we even need to replay the rest of this? No.
Because she was forced to have to address it. It actually surprises me. She was that stupid to make a comment like that and not realize she'd be stepping. But look, she steps in it like every day now.
Yeah, she does. So here, let's see. I've got. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah. Charles Preston from, I think he's from Injustice Watch, over on. Here's his Twitter account. It says, it's not just the fact that she told people not to vote, but it's the disgusting anti-black pandering to black voters that by using black religious aesthetics and rhetoric to push her campaign.
That's what we saw during her petition drive.
Yeah. So
we'll read what Alice Yin wrote there.
Yeah, Alice Yin says, some pastor energy from Lightfoot at this event inside a large church in Grand Crossing.
She knew what she was doing.
Grand Crossing, isn't that where Brandon lives? Huh, interesting. She says, oh, hold on. I gotta, okay. Oh, wait. We need the South Side to come like a mighty roar to the polls. Roar. Okay.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Okay, I'm not doing the lion roar again. We don't need to be the Israelites wandering in the desert for 30 years. We need to get to the promised land right now.
Wow. What promised land? Wow. What promised land has she gotten us everybody any closer to in the past 4 years?
Yeah, I'd like to know what she considers the promised land, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, are we halfway there?
Dude, I don't even think we've turned the engine over to make this trip to the promised land. I don't even think the bus has started.
Yeah,
I don't even think there's gas in the bus to take us there.
No,
with her driving it.
All right. Well, that's I guess that's clown car news for now, or at least mayoral clown car news. But we do have we do have adjacent aldermanic news. And let's see if I have this up here. Yeah, here we go. This is this is 33rd Ward stuff. Eric Reinhart from where is he from? He's a physician, psychoanalyst, political anthropologist of public health law and abolition, racial, psychiatric, and aesthetic idea. Okay, all right. He's a pretty cool guy. He's a good account to follow. He says one day after Rosanna Rodriguez, she's current alderperson of the 33rd Ward, calls for police accountability in an article at The Tribe and The Nation about another CPD cover-up that should be a front-page scandal, Chewy endorses her police union-backed opponent. Not a coincidence. No integrity, he says.
She's the progressive that Chewy used to be when he was supporting Harold Washington and has thus abandoned himself after his trek to Washington.
Yeah.
His metamorphosis in Washington.
So while we're not gonna read the article they're linking here, we are gonna read another article from The Tribe. If it ever loads. Yes, Chewy Garcia endorses Fraternal Order police-backed Sammy Martinez.
Wow.
In the Third Ward.
Wow. So if there's a runoff, I'm just not going to vote if any of these three get it, because the fact that he's endorsing somebody that's Fraternal Order of Police backed, he's got no integrity whatsoever, and that he's no better than Vallis in accepting endorsements or aligning himself with that fascist organization.
Yeah,
I see why he's supporting him, because he's Hispanic.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's identity politics.
Yeah.
Once again, do you want to read his quote here? Should we switch to stash mode here, Terry?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if do I have the stash here?
I got to open up the.
Oh, do you need the article?
Yeah. Is it in the notes?
It's in the notes. I'll send it in the private chat in case you can't find it.
Yeah, because he's otherwise I'd read it off the screen. All right.
In which case
I got it.
Okay.
Give me a second to load it up here. Jesus the Stash Garcia. Chicago deserves better. That's why I enthusiastically endorse Sammy Martinez as your next alderman. Sammy knows how to deliver results and will build a safer community for our children. He will help community residents keep their businesses and jobs and make sure all of us have more equitable access to city services and affordable housing. To be an effective mayor, I will need Sam? Oh, the article.
Allies.
I will need allies like Sammy Martinez to move Chicago forward. And he is Hispanic like me. Pay no attention to the Fraternal Order of Police endorsement that Martinez has.
Yep. So 2023 mayoral candidate Jesus Chewy the Stash Garcia endorsed Sammy Martinez, a challenger to incumbent alderperson Rosanna Rodriguez.
Oh, well, she's Hispanic also, though. So what is
he? It is kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so I was wrong.
I'll tell you what I think it is. It's because she's in the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America.
She's the person he used to be, and he's now an establishment Democrat, is what he is.
Yeah, so Sammy's probably establishment Democrat. He's not DSA, and that's got to be the difference there.
I stand corrected.
Okay. Arturo is criticizing your accent on that little bit we did.
I was trying to sound like Jesus the Stash Garcia, Arturo. Do I not sound like him?
Says, are you trying to sound that way?
All right, if it's a bad imitation, it's a bad imitation. But I'm trying.
I mean, I guess we could get Arturo on speed dial if he thinks he can do a better one.
Yeah, you knew your camera, Art. You want to join us?
I'd be cool with him being the official Chewy Garcia impression if he wants to be.
Well, the thing about Chewy is that he doesn't. I don't find that he has a strong Hispanic accent.
No, it's just the Chewy Garcia accent.
Yeah, it's not. There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing ethnic about it when I'm doing it. It's just. It almost sounds more like a Chicago accent with just a little lilt of a Hispanic accent in there, but not heavy Hispanic.
No, it's pretty light. Lucky Arturo. He says, sorry, I'm high.
Okay.
That's cool, man. It's probably the best way to watch this program.
Pretty much, or drunk. Although I don't have any tonight. I wish I did.
So Jesus Chuy the Stash Garcia endorsed Sammy Martinez, a challenger to incumbent alderperson Rosana Rodriguez of the 33rd Ward. A spokesperson for the campaign confirmed on February 18th. The endorsement puts Garcia in bed with allies of former Mayor Harold Washington's fiercest enemies.
Wow.
Including former 33rd Ward Alderman Dick Mell. Yeah, he was my alderman until they drew me out of my ward. And then his daughter, and then Rosana Rodriguez. I had 3 alder people while I've been living here, and then now I got drawn into Carlos's 35th ward.
Thus showing his loyalty to that whole Punch 9 gimmick.
Yeah. Garcia was once an ally in the city council to Washington and frequently refers to that legacy as proof of his own progressive bona fides. Well, not anymore. Threw that one right in the trash, didn't you? Good job, Chewy.
Yes!
Well done, Stash. Well done. Rodriguez is a member.
What an asshole.
Yeah. Me or him? Yes.
No, the Stash, not you.
Well, I am too. I'm just not his kind of asshole. Yeah, it's what I see. They're going. The tribe is basically going with what I'm guessing here. They say Rodriguez is a member of the Socialist, Progressive, Reform, and Latino caucuses. She was among a wave of progressives who were elected to city council in 2019. She won the seat after defeating Deb Mell, who had been appointed to replace her father, Dick Mell, who was the 33rd Ward alderman from 75 to 2013. Laith Shaban, an investment advisor and housing developer, is also challenging Rodriguez. All right, yeah. Well, I would guess that if enough people in the 33rd Ward turn up, they're probably just going to re-elect Rosanna. But we'll see.
Let's hope. She's a good older woman. She's a good older person.
I didn't have a problem with her.
She's good.
I think she's fine. I mean, like any ward, we could have better snow removal, but then that's kind of a citywide problem, though. So, along with progressive incumbent alders such as Daniel Espada of the 1st Ward, Carlos Ramirez Rosa of the 35th, Jeanette Taylor of the 20th, and Byron Cicha Lopez of the 25th Ward, Rodriguez has endorsed Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson for mayor. Johnson's progressive campaign has been the target of attacks from mayoral opponents Garcia, community activist Jamal Green, state representative Cam Buckner, and Mayor Lori Lightfoot in recent weeks as the commissioner has surged in the polls. Well, I mean, I guess that happens. Although, polls aren't everything, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, sometimes people...
That's what she said.
You're so funny. What I mean is political polls very often are either a small sample count, or the people that they poll are certain demographics slanted one way or another, or they find interesting ways to ask the questions that they ask the people they're polling in order to get the results that they're going for. So very often you're going to see like a candidate will have something to do with a poll being done, and then all of a sudden they're leading in the polls. We saw that happen.
This is what happened with Vallis.
This is what happened with Vallis.
This is Vallis's sudden. Everybody's paying attention to him now because of these bullshit polls that they started floating the numbers for.
So I don't
pay attention to him now, and don't forget he's white.
So my recommendation is, if you see somebody on any news channel talking about this poll said this and this poll said this person's in the lead, take those with a very huge pile of salt and understand that they might be slanted. They may have good polling data, but if they're asking the questions a funny way, they may still end up with the results that they're wanting to show to everybody on the news channels. So look into your candidates. Find the ones that represent your values. watch independent media shows as well as the local TV shows, because then you get an idea on if you're getting slanted information as well. There may be other forces at work in communicating to you who is currently in the lead and who is of your reasonable choices for voting for mayor of Chicago or the alderperson in your ward. And it really helps to look into that stuff. Fortunately, we have independent media that are actually doing some of that research. I mean, there's that Block Club website called The Ballot. It's very good. They have a lot of stories about all the different wards. They have interviews with all the candidates. So if you aren't seeing something on our show that you want to get more information about, seriously head over there, look into different search engines like DuckDuckGo instead of Google. It's like basically forming your own results for you. Have an idea of what you want to look for. And all right, I'm falling off the edge here. I think my blood sugar is finally peaked. But anyway, please hydrate, ladies and gentlemen. It's really important to stay hydrated in these days. So here we are. Yap, as Steve Martin says. I think we're done with the Tribe article too.
Yeah, we made our point with Garcia. I think it's pretty.
We made our point here.
I think it's pretty, and it was also punctuated also by our live chat viewer, Mad Matt Chicago. He's an establishment placeholder. He doesn't at all do a good job pretending that he's thirsty for it, and that speaks to my suspicion that the larger National Democratic Party asked him to step in just as a hedge to either spoil the vote so Lightfoot stays in place, or be the alternative Democrat that's also going to serve their interests. So,
yeah. So now we're just going to jump over to the 39th Ward, where Alderperson Samantha Nugent is in some hot water over ethics violations. We got a tweet from Anthony Moser. So he calls her Comic Sam's. That's funny. If you're familiar with fonts, that's hilarious. Says Comic Sam's in the hot seat over ethics violations. And he's taking a screenshot from a WTTW article. It says, the People's Fabric, an anonymously run blog that focuses on far northwest side politics, reported that a complaint was filed with the ethics board against Alderperson Samantha Nugent of the 39th Ward the same day the board issued the warning. Nugent is running against Denali Dasgupta, a data researcher who has the endorsement of the progressive organization United Working Families. A mailer sent out by Nugent, who represents Sauganash, Forest Glen, and Mayfair, as well as parts of North Park, shows her alongside a man dressed as in the Chicago Police Department's distinctive light blue button-down shirt with the Chicago Police Department patch visible on his shoulder, navy tie, and navy pants. Nugent, who has been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police, declined to answer questions about the warning by the ethics board in response to a request from WTTW.
What was the ethics question? Because she was.
Okay, so here.
City. Okay,
yeah.
City.
Yeah. Heather Sharon says there's probable cause to believe at least one candidate running next week's election may have violated Chicago's ethics ordinance.
By being seen with somebody who is allegedly a Chicago police officer.
And here's Emily Taft Pollard with the quote unquote probable cause that showed up in her mailbox this week as an insert. Yeah, you can't do that, guys. You cannot. This is an ethics violation. I know. Was it what's his name? Wheelbarrow Alderman. What's his name? Had a problem.
Our friendly neighborhood wheelbarrow pilot, Mr. Alderperson. What are we calling him? Ray Lopez. There we go.
Ray Lopez. Yeah, Ray Lopez. I think had some campaign stuff with the fire fighter outfit on, or he was in front of a fire truck.
Right.
That was it. Yeah, it's a similar ethics violation there. You cannot. You're basically, you're using public municipal. What do we call these things?
Well, I mean, logos, trade. I don't know if it's trademark, but municipal.
You're basically using law enforcement or firemen or public people in public service to prop up your campaign, and that's illegal.
Right.
Because it makes it look like they're endorsing you.
Right. That was the intention there. She's dog whistling to everybody who thinks that, if the cops support it means we're going to have crime's going to disappear. It's going to magically disappear.
Yeah.
Speaking of crime, real quick, I don't want to. This just kind of refreshed my memory on something that came in my email today. I got an email from my alder person, Deborah Silverstein. There is a public safety alert that she shared today, and I don't know if this is just in my ward or in all wards, but I will just quickly read from it. Public safety alert regarding what's being identified as a National Day of Hate. Have you heard about this?
No.
I'm waiting for the email to open up. Public safety.
That sounds like fake news.
Well, apparently, I spoke to someone who thinks that this National Day of Hate is being stoked by Trump, and it's like, dude, stop letting Trump live rent free in your mind. But all right, so here. Let me bring it up here, as it does. No, hold on. It's legit. It's legit. Let me bring it up here, and I can read from it. Here we go. This is what I got. Okay. Dear neighbor, the Chicago police are warning the community of a, quote, National Day of Hate being planned by anti-Semitic and white supremacist groups for February 25th. I spoke with the police and no known threat has been made to the local Jewish community. However, they will be monitoring the situation very closely. To date, no specific Jewish communities or locations have been named in the threats online. And then it goes on to show the community alert from the police department. The 24th District Police of Worship Safety Advisory Team, POWSAT, is sending out a community alert relative to a recently observed online domestic violent extremist messaging, which announces 25 February 2023 as a National Day of Hate. This anti-Semitic proposed event has instructed like-minded individuals to drop banners, place stickers and flyers, and vandalize by way of graffiti as forms of biased so-called activism. These organizers request that potential actions be recorded and or photographed to submit online. The Chicago Police Department urges all community members to keep situationally aware and pay attention to your surroundings while out in the neighborhood, not just on Shabbos, but during the week as well. We strongly encourage residents to help the police by calling 911 immediately and reporting all suspicious vehicles, persons, or circumstances, since officers can't be interesting comment here, Ed.
Yeah.
So officers can't be on every street in the city at once. Isn't that what we say all the time, despite the fact all the money's going to them? We count on residents to be our additional eyes and ears. Well, okay, that's fine. We want to thank each and every one of you for stepping up and making the community safe for all. So Alderwoman Silverstein goes on to say, it is important to remain vigilant and pay attention to your surroundings. Please call 911 immediately to report any suspicious vehicles, persons, or circumstances. The local police are also paying special attention to Jewish institutions, synagogues, and other places of worship. So I'm not Jewish, but I guess Shabbos is a Jewish holiday that's taking place.
It's pronounced Shabbos. It means the Sabbath.
Okay, Shabbos.
It's just it just means Saturday, basically.
A Saturday. Okay,
Friday night, sundown to Saturday.
Now, I don't know that. I don't think that this just came to our neighborhood.
No, I did a quick search, and the Anti-Defamation League is notifying people about it too. I guess they let people know about it on the 10th of February is when they heard about it. So I guess it's a credible threat, although it's insane to me that anyone would basically promote this as a National Day of Hate. That seems like you're basically setting up the red flag for yourself there.
And you know what I say, Ed? Someone wants to be stupid enough to come out and start harassing people like that. Bring it on. Let's see. Watch how quickly their asses get kicked by people who are not going to put up with that shit.
Yeah, and again, this is, clearly this is on her radar because it's an anti-Semitic thing.
Sure.
And anti-Semitism is not cool, whether it's against the Jewish people or any other Semitic race.
Well, we live in Little India over here. It's the Pakistani Muslim corridor. So whatever hate that they're trying to stoke is, anti-Semitism against all cultures, I would imagine.
Yeah, anti-Semitism, racism, bigotry, anything. It's not cool. It just isn't cool. Stop it. Speaking of not cool, although kind of cool, did you guys hear about this? There were these guys going around basically a pickpocket ring. They were calling them the Puffy Coat Bandits because of, obviously, you can see in the photo here why.
Yeah.
They going from restaurant to restaurant or wherever they were going, and basically, chatting up people and then picking their pockets and then moving on to the next place. And the huge crime ring. But I guess two of it says the leader was arrested, but additional members, highly skilled pickpocket crew, still sought. I heard, it says 2 men said to be part of the Puffy Coat Bandits have been arrested, although service workers said they've since seen members of the crew. So there's more than just 2 of them. It says in River North, a man accused of being the leader of the Puffy Coat Bandits, a pickpocketing crew targeting diners at Northside bars and restaurants, has been charged with 2 counts of felony theft, authorities said. James Wilkins, 27, was indicted by a grand jury Saturday, according to the Cook County. How are they able to indict these guys so fast, and we still don't know where those chicken wings are?
Priorities, Ed. Priorities.
Jerry, you knew exactly where I was going with that. I'm like, how do we not know? All right. He's charged with 2 counts of unlawful use of a credit card after being arrested February 9th. Another alleged member of the Wilkins crew, Jerome Sharp, 29, arrested December 16th and charged with felony count of theft for stealing a wallet off a victim's table in Lincoln Park restaurant. The trio, they're called Trio. Okay, well, maybe there's this one other guy, but you never know. There could be a series of guys, and whoever's available just travels in a pack and does their pickpocket thing. The trio of pickpockets and purse snatchers have been hitting near Northside bars and restaurants for months, stealing from unsuspecting patrons. The thieves, known to wear shiny black puffer coats, have been dubbed the Puffy Coat Bandits. And, it makes me think of Home Alone. The wet bandits.
Wet bandits, yeah.
So restaurant workers called them the Puffy Coat Bandits.
That's funny.
Restaurant staffers said they were amazed how long they've been stealing from diners without getting caught. Police and detectives have been onto these guys for weeks. Weeks? Wow, weeks. And welcome the help of the U.S. Marshals who got involved. So literally, all this money going to the Chicago PD.
The U.S. Marshals.
They had to phone in the U.S. Marshals to get to the bottom of this. It's hilarious.
Hinky. What does that mean, Vince? Hinky. Oh, strange. Weird. Well, don't you say strange or weird? I mean, hinky, that has no meaning. We say hinky. I don't want you guys using words around me that got no meaning.
Hopefully they got Tommy Lee and his crew from U.S. Marshals.
Yeah, they would have gotten to the bottom of all of this by now.
They should. You know who they need to call out for the chicken wing case is Tommy Lee. Yeah. Samuel Gerard from U.S. Marshals. That's who they need on that case.
No kidding. Let's see. Though 2 of the men are being held in Cook County Jail, other thefts have been reported since Wilkins and Sharps have been in custody. Hopkins said an investigation into other members of the crew is ongoing. Hopkins said he was briefed. That was Alderman Brian Hopkins of the 2nd. Okay. Said he was briefed by police about the case Friday and was told the black-coated thieves were, quote, impressive, like something out of Ocean's 11, he said. These are highly skilled pickpockets, Hopkins said. They were getting wallets, and sometimes it would be hours until the victims had realized they'd been robbed.
Nuts. Wow.
So let's see. The thieves would take the stolen cards and max them out as quickly as possible at downtown big box stores like Target. So, I mean, these are the kinds of crime waves that are happening when, when it's hard to make ends meet, when cities don't have the services they need, when people have to get creative with their additional income, I guess.
Well,
it's not making an excuse for it. It's just saying, these are the types of things that happen when we, it's like these guys, they're getting jail time. They deserve jail time. Look, man, I know it's rough out there, but maybe sell your puffy coat. Just a thought.
It is.
So I think is that all? I think that's all of it.
I think that's everything from your show notes. Now, we are going to be speaking with members of Big Picture Chicago. I'm not sure if Ryan's joining us or if he just passed the link to one of the participating filmmakers. But usually, Ryan joins us in these interviews with the filmmakers that are participating in the film screenings over at the Patio Theater. So I'm sending out a message to Ryan because I did tell him to check in about 8:45. Hopefully he will he'll be logging in with us shortly.
But until then, I can practice my skills.
Okay.
Here, and read and do a live read.
Okay.
So here we are. Big Picture Chicago presents its February showcase of local short films at the historic Patio Theater, 6008 West Irving Park Road, featuring the Chicago shot Hallmark movie parody Love Dump from Jane Barb Productions. Tickets are only $5. For more information, head to facebook.com/bigpicturechicago. And
happening this Thursday.
That's this Thursday, the 23rd. $5.
In fact, there is a trailer link in our private chat.
There is. Should we watch that first?
Yeah, let's run that first.
Let's run that. Let's run that beautiful trailer footage.
If you're looking for a job, we don't hire perverts. You're a pants guy.
You're mustard mouth.
You love trash so much.
Where are you going?
2 words. L.A.
Liana!
Let me get you cleaned up. I have a first aid kit on me at all times.
Oh, you're a nurse.
No. Truth be told, ever since my dad disappeared when I was little, I've always been afraid of putting myself out there.
Yeehaw, damn!
Jessica.
Jessica?
Jessica?
My name's Jessica.
What about that birdhouse?
That's not for sale. I miss him so much.
Where are you, Daddy? Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Hey. You're cute.
I think he's some kind of genius.
No, he's just in love.
I'm gonna find that popsicle stick, Jessica Dump. You'll see.
Where's Todd? Oh my God, the train!
Have you seen Jessica Dump?
Ew, that's disgusting.
Good one.
Oh, that's great. I like
so
that.
we have one of the filmmakers from Big Picture Chicago here with us. Now, I'm not sure. I guess we should just ask him on the air. Matt, welcome.
What's going on?
Now, was that your trailer or a trailer for what's being shown this Thursday?
That is, I think, a quick cut trailer that we made for. We just recently got into Slam Dance Film Festival,
Okay.
and we had to give some additional promotional stuff for that. So our writer and the lead in there, the guy with the mustache, that's Jesse Kendall. He and I edited the movie, so he makes all the trailers for it.
So that you say we were running a trailer for your film, then that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because normally Ryan will join us in these interviews, and he hasn't. I haven't seen him log in, so I don't know if it was. Do you know if he was going to join us also, or did he just share the link with you?
Yeah, he's going to come as
having
well.
technical
He is going to join in.
difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you.
And you guys you sent it to? Did you screen at Slam Dance?
Yeah, we got 2 screenings up at Slam Dance, and that was the first festival that we've done so far in the run.
Congratulations.
Thank you
How
very
long
much.
is that? How long is that film? Is your film?
52 minutes, and we're working on like a 60-minute cut right now, just as like an option, because people have been talking about what they're looking to purchase, and it kind of seems like an hour is the cutoff. For
Yeah, hours. Or if you can like run 48 to 50 minutes so that they can put it somewhere with commercial inserts. To fill it out.
Yeah. We were thinking that for a minute too. We were thinking of maybe making trailers for like other Hallmark parodies that we invent and make up, and kind of do like they do on television, where they have these like pretty ghastly commercials for other projects, kind of like weaved in between it. Yeah.
So is that's kind of the inspiration for this particular this movie?
Yeah, the head
Ghastly
writers.
Hallmark.
yeah. The head writers. It's kind of funny, the evolution of it too. I've met along the way a programmer at Lifetime and like a producer at Hallmark, and it's funny, like even they're aware that some of the staff is like enamored and in love with the product, and then the other 50% of like the people that actually work for Hallmark are like, yeah, we know what we make, we get it.
I think it's an idea whose time has come, because I think that the Hallmark Lifetime movies have so saturated the cultural zeitgeist on cable TV after so many years. It's like you talk about a Lifetime or a Hallmark movie and everybody immediately knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they churn them out and they're like pretty much indistinguishable from each other. They have, I guess, acceptable actors who you can't tell the difference amongst, though. No big names, nobody that's really that familiar or recognizable. And it's just the same kind of sappy stuff over and over and over again. And then just like change the season depending on what holiday you're running your program in. So, there he is. Ryan has joined us now. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, everybody. Hey, Matt. How's it going? Hey,
Chicago.
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties.
No, that's okay. I wasn't clear from the email when you said a filmmaker will be on. I didn't want to start without you, but since you weren't here, I just assumed maybe you weren't going to be here. But I'm glad you are. And we showed Matt's trailer, and we're talking a little bit about the upcoming program this Thursday at the Patio Theater, and about Matt's movie and what inspired it.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited to show it. I'm excited for people to see it. And there'll be some other short films screaming along with it, but I'd be interested to hear what you have to say about it, Matt, because you guys just had a screening in Slam Dance, right? Like a few weeks ago or something.
Yeah, up in Utah.
How was all that?
It was awesome. That was my first film festival for film. I've done NYTVF and some other things for like shorts and like web series kind of projects, which Chicago churns out pretty often. And so it was cool to go for a movie and like sit with the audience and like watch the movie and enjoy it. I've only gotten to do that like a couple times before, but it's like one of the great pleasures in making creative projects, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been directing?
Gosh, I moved to Chicago like 8 years ago, and I live in LA now. I've lived here for like a year and a half. And probably within like a year of living there, it was like sketches and comedy videos that I would direct and shoot and edit for other people, and then web series and short films. And then I think my first feature was like about 5 years ago with a guy named Matt Baker, called Ghosted. That was my first one.
So where are you from originally? Are you originally from Chicago?
Baltimore before that.
Okay, so you went to LA and then you came. What brought you to? I mean, if you're in the film market in Los Angeles, what brought you here to Chicago?
Let's see. In Baltimore, I met the lead from this, Jesse Kendall. He and I met doing stand-up together, and the scene there is like very small, so it's pretty easy to run into each other over and over again. And like quickly, I think he and I gravitated to each other right before he moved to Chicago to do like improv and kind of work on acting more. And about a year after he moved, I was like, oh man, this sounds too cool. Second City, IO, Annoyance, just like that whole comedy scene. Yeah. And so then
Cool. So were the two of you in deciding to come up with the script for this particular movie just sick and tired of the Hallmark and Lifetime movies, or what was the spark that guided you guys to decide to take this on and script this and make this film?
Yeah, the writers are actually Layla and Jesse, with the two leads from this. They would do a bit together where they would like pretend to be what you described earlier. The universal actors that are in a Hallmark movie can be anyone. So they would show up at a party and just say things to each other in front of people to kind of like weird them out. And they'd be like, "Oh my God, you're so handsome." And he'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I just have shit all over me right now. What'd you say?" And they would kind of like do these meet cutes that were like disgusting, you know, because it's just like in every single Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that, they would like joke around about it so much. They were like, "Oh, maybe we should write like a whole movie about this." And kind of the cool thing about it was normally we would say, "Hey, I'm free Friday. I've had this idea for a while. Maybe we can film it in my apartment." But for this, they were like, "Let's just write every scene exactly like we want it to be." You know, there's like a scene at a train station. There's a scene in a restaurant. There's like these big set piece kind of scenes that are in it. And they were like, "Let's write it and see what happens." And then kind of as Ryan knows too, he was in a project that I made for a friend, Brittany Bookbinder. A lot of people in Chicago are amped to watch you create things. So all the locations we found through friends and through like work connections and things like that. But Ryan was even in something where we had like a whole doctor's office to ourselves. It was like a physical therapist. And they kind of were like, "Well, I have appointments still, so they're going to go in that room, but you can have these 4 rooms to do whatever you want with." It's a pretty friendly film city, that's for sure.
Well, there's a lot of fertile territory also that's fascinating to me with the concept of taking a sketch and being able to build it out into a larger comedy. I mean, that's essentially what so many very popular comedies from the 80s are, originating from Saturday Night Live skits.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Blues Brothers or the Coneheads or Wayne's World. Obviously, you've got something that's consistently really funny there. And the germ of the idea coming from these meet cute Lifetime and Hallmark movies, there's that. I mean, I can understand why there's so much direction you can go in aside from the two performers just like doing this at parties and people not realizing they were doing a bit. So that's really cool. Did you get so the two leads wrote it, or were there other writers?
No, just the two leads. For about a year they would meet up at a coffee shop and kind of hash out different scene ideas, and then like erase things and rewrite things. And they put the whole thing together. They did an incredible amount of work, actually. They both essentially produced and organized the whole thing too. And then we just happened to work on everything together. So he was like, "You're going to film this, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I'll film this."
You know, Hallmark or Lifetime would be fools not to pick this up and distribute it.
Yeah.
And poke fun at themselves.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have to have some, sense of, okay, as you said a moment ago or a few minutes ago, yeah, they know what they do. It's like, all right, so why don't you embrace the silliness of it? I mean, you can still do those movies, but why not make a little bit of fun out of it? Because obviously it's an institution that everybody, kind of rolls their eyes at now. They still enjoy them. Doesn't take any enjoyment away from the actual Hallmark or Lifetime movies, but be able to poke fun at it. I more people should do it.
Yeah.
So this is a longer film, Ryan, than usually when we go to Big Picture Chicago. I think the maximum running time I've seen some of the films there are maybe 15 or 20 minutes. So will you guys start
Jerry,
shooting longer formats?
Jerry, I think your Dark Knight trailer or Dark Knight movie probably was the longest one they've had there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was saying about 15 minutes or so. Yeah.
Generally speaking, we run shorts. However, we had a couple of longer movies. In the summer last year, we actually did a feature-length movie in May. And what we did was we did kind of a split ticket where it was some shorts grouped together and then the feature after. And then we played Art's piece a few shows ago, and that was
that's right. That was
50 minutes.
Yeah, I forgot.
Which is about the same running time as Love Dump. I'm happy to do that and to showcase. The show this week will have some shorts with it as well, some kind of romantic holiday themed Valentine's Day leftovers. There'll hopefully be a nice like appetizer for Love Dump. So please come out also, everybody, to see those short films as well. But yeah, generally Big Picture Chicago is, shorts that are, I would say there's no like hard limit on the time, but it's definitely easier to program shorts that are like 10 minutes or less. If you're out there and you're a filmmaker in the area and you want to submit, please feel free. Don't worry about the running time and things. But Big Picture Chicago, just for those of you who don't know what it is really just an opportunity that I saw where there's a beautiful old historic movie theater, the Patio Theater on the northwest side of Chicago, that had the ability to show stuff on this beautiful, huge old screen, which you can see right there. I was doing work, as Matt had said, like in and around the scene, doing different comedy work or whatever, and working with filmmakers and actors and stuff. And so many times, we're making shorts and stuff that are put on the internet, and that's certainly like, I feel like the way that it is now, but there's something about that experience. Matt, you actually said something about that earlier about seeing your movie at Slam Dance. There's something about seeing your work on a big screen, like with an audience of people, that's just really gratifying. And I know that this city has so many creatives that are like producing content and stuff. So Big Picture Chicago is a way for everybody to come together and be able to see their work with an audience on a big screen in a movie theater in a beautiful, huge, old historic movie palace. So generally what you were saying, Jerry, it's usually shorts. This month we're doing kind of a hybrid in that we're doing a block of shorts, and then we'll be showing Love Dump as like kind of our feature. That's what we did in May with our the sci-fi feature that we showed as well. And I think it's going to be a really good mix. I hope people can come out. It's this Thursday night. Doors are at 7:00. Our short films, we have a few filmmakers who've been in the festival before, a few new ones as well. And as I said, there are some kind of romantic and Valentine's themed shorts. So hopefully,
I like how you call them Valentine's leftovers.
Yeah, well, because it's like when I was, the show is the last Thursday of every month. And so I was like, well, doing a show in February, like doing the January show as a Valentine's show seemed premature. But doing it at February 23rd, it's like, Valentine's leftovers, I guess, at this point. Yeah. But I think it's a really good lineup this month, and I hope everybody gets to come out and see it. And Love Dump, which is, I'm always amazed when stuff like feature-length stuff is like shot in the city, especially like from people who are doing it independently. And I am happy to be able to help showcase your work, Matt. And I hope everybody can come out and see it. It's a fun show. It's going to be a fun lineup this month.
That's the point. I mean, the whole reason that we have Big Picture Chicago on here, everyone, is that we want Chicagoans to discover Chicago's emerging filmmakers. And what better place to do it than over at the Patio Theater with this wonderful monthly film festival that Ryan produces and curates. Ryan, I think filmmakers here in Chicago are very lucky to have you, having put this thing together and partnering with the Patio Theater. Good people over there.
Yes,
I wanted to also ask you, I had got an email from you regarding something that is being identified as the Patio Theater Film Group. Is that something premature to talk about? Or
I would just, premature in that the meeting that we're going to have is going to kind of decide the contours of what that ultimately is. But the Patio is really interested this year in kind of expanding their film programming. The Big Picture Chicago, we did all of last year. It's pretty successful. We got a lot of different filmmakers to come out and meet each other. And one of the things that I love about it is filmmakers tend to be like, and Matt, you would probably know this too because you were in the stand-up scene. The comedy scene is very like social, I feel like, especially like sketch and improv. Filmmaking scenes are more like islands. It's like islands of people that all collaborate. And it's like we're all collaborating kind of, sometimes we cross paths or whatever. And Big Picture Chicago is a nice way to like bring everybody together, and especially filmmakers who tend to not be as social as maybe, some of the other scenes in the city. So anyway, I just lost my train of thought there.
Well, we were talking about the Patio Theater Film Group, but you said
right.
it has to do with the patio exploring more film programming there.
Yeah. So this show has been pretty successful for the theater, and they would like to continue to grow that. And so the idea is that we're going to try to expand our programming, and hopefully we will have more filmmakers helping us curate all of that. And hopefully we'll be doing more features and things too, because Big Picture Chicago is primarily short films, but the idea would be to get, feature-length independent filmmakers in, as well as, I believe, rerun programming is part of the idea as well. But a little premature, maybe. I don't think it's a big deal, but we'll figure out what it is. The idea is that the patio theater is like, hopefully this year is going to be growing a little bit in terms of independent film in Chicago. So hopefully it'll be a place that independent filmmakers will know that they can bring their work to have it showcased and have it seen. I think that's the plan. Hopefully we'll get there. I think we will.
Now, let me ask you on a program, because I got that email. Are you guys still doing the meeting tomorrow night, or will it be pre-show before Big Picture on Thursday?
No, it's tomorrow night. But if for some reason you can't make it, because actually, full disclosure, I typed out the email with everybody's emails and forgot Jerry's email. And then I was this week looking through all the responses, like, Jerry never responded. Realized I hadn't included you on the original one, so
I guess I'm easy to forget, Brian. I never imagined that I was
not at all. You occurred to me that I was like hadn't seen your reply at all, and I was like, I don't know if it's available.
Well, unfortunately, I probably will be editing for my client tomorrow, and I will probably be going to the evening, so I don't know that I can make this meeting. Okay. But let me know more about it, because I'd like to be involved with helping however we can.
Absolutely,
in this larger initiative.
Yeah, absolutely, and the idea is it's going to be a partnership kind of between the Patio Theater and Mark, who's been doing the film programming and is the projectionist for Big Picture Chicago and helps make everything work. He is wanting to kind of partner up with some of the filmmakers that have been part of the show and have been part of more than one show and live in the neighborhood and are interested in it. And hopefully we'll get kind of a collective going over there, and that'll be like a place for us to come together and know that we can show work and stuff. So
sounds good. Let me get back to Matt really quickly.
Sure.
So you guys are looking for distribution for the film. What's next for you? Do you have another project on the horizon?
Yeah, a couple of different things going. Distribution certainly something we're chasing after right now, and like we said before, recalibrating the runtime. We're kind of trying to push a shorter runtime as a product, but we all live in the same system, so we're understanding of that. But Jesse and Layla have been writing another identical type of project like this. I believe it is based off of a butcher and a woman who is in town to take down big meat, and she's in some kind of like Pennsylvania meat town district.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah, she's always trying to take down big meat. But a long time ago, when we had finished this because we finished this about 2 summers ago, I almost immediately was like, wow, we could probably make like 10 of these and contact Hallmark directly and say like, here's your parody wing if you want it. So we're always down with this. Jason, the director, and myself, we have a couple of little projects brewing up right now together. And
I have an idea.
Yep.
I don't have cable to know like what the channel lineup is like anymore, but is there still a Comedy Central?
Yeah.
This would be a great slate if you were able to pitch an entire season of these, or maybe every holiday, Comedy Central can run one of these faux Hallmark Lifetime movies, make fun of them, or have that their niche over Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Might want to consider pitching over there.
No, that'd be awesome. I almost think of it as like a comedy Black Mirror. Have you ever seen any of the Black Mirror series? Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Where it's just like any conceivable idea you have and any crew you have all ganged up towards making fun of Hallmark movies or something like that. So
yeah, you almost need like a series feature title for that, like Hall Mirror.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, just all lives under the same umbrella of
Hallmark parody extended universe or whatever.
Life Mark or Hall Time.
There you go.
But I love that, like with the Hallmark movies, it's great because of like it's a very strong formula of how those movies are put together. Like you were saying, you could just drop in all sorts of different characters and premises and like do it forever.
I've got it. Matt, it's a Life Mark original movie.
Yeah. Life Mark, baby. We could just have
there you
genres on a wall and your protagonists on a wall and like a problem and just throw darts at it. And
there you go.
This is what we're doing today. Yeah.
Well, listen, congratulations on your Slam Dance screening. That was running concurrent to Sundance, wasn't it?
Yeah. Same.
I was out there for Sundance, so I didn't get a chance to check anything out at Slam Dance, but that's a really nice. I mean, it's really cool when you're finally quote unquote at the party amongst other creators, and just that energy and adrenaline boost that you get from being around other creative people and working on their projects, either showing them or getting them off the ground. It's a great destination once you get there. So I congratulate you for that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that trailer. Actually,
let's run it again before we let our guests go. Can we pull it up?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Let's roll that sucker again.
And remember, everybody, you can see the full feature this Thursday at the Patio Theater at Big Picture Chicago.
If you're looking for a job, we don't hire perverts. You're a pants guy.
Your mustard mouth.
You love trash so much.
2 words. L.A.
Leanna!
Let me get you cleaned up. I have a first aid kit on me at all times.
Oh, you're a nurse.
No. Truth be told, ever since my dad disappeared when I was little, I've always been afraid of putting myself out there.
Yeehaw, damn!
Jessica.
Jessica?
Jessica?
My name's Jessica.
What about that birdhouse?
That's not for sale. I miss him so much.
Where are you, Daddy? Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Hey. You're cute.
I think he's some kind of genius.
No, he's just in love.
I'm gonna find that popsicle stick Jessica dumped. You'll see.
Where's Todd? Oh my God, the train!
Have you seen Jessica dump?
Ew, that's disgusting.
That's great. I think I've got Thursday night free. I'll try to get out for the screening itself. I could. Oh, by the way, Ryan, I couldn't make the last one because I was horribly sick. Otherwise, I think Ed, you made it out to the last Big Picture, didn't you?
The last one, no, but the one before.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
anytime I got a Thursday night open, I'm like, oh, hey, why don't I go watch some local movies?
We usually do our Chicago Corner programming meetings Thursday night, but maybe we can talk to Kira and do ours on Saturday and make it out this Thursday to be able to see the movies.
Yeah, come see Love Dump, guys.
Sounds good.
Love Dump.
So once again, Big Picture Chicago presents its February showcase of local short films at the historic Patio Theater, 6008 West Irving Park Road, featuring the Chicago Shot Hallmark movie parody Love Dump from Jane Barb Productions.
Yeah.
And there is a link for the event up on the screen, or if you don't want to figure out that long name, just head to facebook.com/bigpicturechicago, and in their timeline they'll have a post for the event. But it's this Thursday, February 23rd, Patio Theater.
There you have it. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight, and good luck on your future ventures, Matt. And Ryan, I'll be in touch with you. Just keep me posted on how that meeting goes tomorrow night, if there's any way I can help out or be part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us, guys.
Sure.
Matt, thank you for letting me show your movie this
Yeah, of
week.
course, man. Thanks so much.
I'm excited to screen it.
Yeah.
And Jerry and Ed, thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
I appreciate it. Sorry
Thanks for
about
joining
the
us.
technical difficulties. I just got a new computer, so I switched keyboards, so it's like my brain side switch because I keep grabbing one keyboard to use the other computer, and then things aren't signed in where they need to be. And
Yeah, we know the feeling over here. We
All the
got-
time. No apology necessary.
Got a million buttons.
Computer
Yeah.
myself to avoid that. We're talking about it. So
Great.
So,
all right. Well,
thank
thanks,
you,
guys.
Big Picture Chicago.
Absolutely.
Good night. All right.
All right. And I guess that's it for this evening.
That just about wraps it up.
So let's see. Was there another story I was going to cover on this? I can't. Actually, I think there was one more that was all about the.
Greetings, citizens of the internet! Or whatever the hell this is. My name is Lori Lightfoot, and I have commandeered this channel to let you know that I completely disapprove of the content that is on this platform. And I hope that you agree with me so that if you do, make sure that you are not supporting this channel by going to patreon.com/Chicago Corner. Whatever you do, avoid this channel's Patreon at all costs. My re-election is counting on you, and I hope that if we can all do things that are... I'm losing my train of thought, and I have no idea why the hell I'm still on this broadcast.
She broke in again, didn't she?
She did. Actually, though, I do have one other announcement I can share here at the end of our show. Let me just get this graphic set up here. Now, unfortunately, I have a prior commitment, and I'm not able to join Ed in producing this, but we do want to let people know that this Saturday, the 25th, will be on Friday night, but we'll also be talking about this on Friday night also. Our friends at the People's Response Network are going to be having a coffee and snack chat with mayoral candidates, and it's going to be at the Kenwood Academy, February 25th, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Now, those that have confirmed are Cam Buckner, Jamal Green, Brandon Johnson, Paul Vallis, and Roderick Sawyer. So if you have an opportunity to get out there, it's going to be an informal coffee chat. But let me share with you what PRN shared with us. We're holding another event on 2/25. We're not conducting it as a forum, but a meet and greet with the candidates. We will have students and parents on a panel of things on their mind that they'd like to say and ask of the candidates. So we had been invited to cover this on Chicago Corner as we did their mayoral forum. And again, unfortunately, I have a prior commitment this Saturday, so we can't be out there to run video or live stream it, but we do want to let people know it's happening. So if you're so inclined and are interested, the People's Response Network, they do a lot of good work. They're doing everything that they can to I support more engagement with our candidates and open the avenues of communication between candidates and people that can come to these forums and ask questions and have a direct meet and greet. So just wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely candidate and forum season here. We've covered a few. We've talked about a few others. You got the Good Kids Mad City tomorrow. If you can make it to these events, it'll help you be more informed. Get out to those events. We're happy to have an informed electorate in the city, because when people don't know what's going on, they're just going to vote whatever, and then you get what you get.
And I think Lori's in for a big surprise regarding her. I don't know if it's authentic or not. Her concerns that not enough people are coming out to vote. Oh, yeah. They're going to be coming out in droves this election. to make sure that she's got to spend more time on LinkedIn looking for her next gig.
Yeah, well, at least she's aware that she needs to spend time on LinkedIn. So, I mean, she sees the writing on the wall, Jerry. Yeah. I think it's at this point, it's just her last gasp.
Yeah. She won't go away quietly. She has to go kicking and screaming.
Oh, did I mispronounce February or February? With the in Chicago we say February because the R is silent.
Nuclear or
nuclear.
I still catch people saying nuclear, and it surprises me. So I was watching and you want to really shocked me saying it. We used to hear George Bush say nuclear, right? Yeah. Nuclear, not nuclear. Nuclear is the correct way to pronounce it. George W. Bush used to say nuclear. So in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana pronounced nuclear. And I don't know if it was a joke, but I don't think that it was. But
that's
different people pronounce things differently. I know, Ed, you say sabotage. I say sabotage. You say
sabotage. And then, yes, you say sabotage. I said February. I do know to pronounce it with the R because I was born in this month. But
by the way, it's Kit's birthday today. Kit Cabello.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Cabello.
Happy birthday, Mr. Cabello.
Yeah, mine is on Sunday.
Okay. Got any big plans this weekend?
Well, actually, yeah. One of my brothers is taking me to a Japanese punk band concert on Sunday night. I don't know if any of you have heard of Otoboke Beaver.
Have not.
But I had not previously, but he's like, dude, you want to go? I'm like, music, my birthday. Okay.
So you couldn't have done that for him anyway, because it's your birthday too.
Probably not, just because, Saturday's usually my laundry day, but I mean, if I didn't have other stuff going on that weekend already planned, I could move the laundry days around. But, I only got so many shirts that look like this. And so I got to keep them clean on a regular schedule.
Well, happy birthday to Ed. We'll talk more about that on Friday. And today, again, happy birthday to our clone overlord, Kit Cabello. Wherever you are celebrating your birthday tonight, Kit, hope you're having a good one.
Yeah. Do we have a Cabello clone video in here still we could show?
I think I may have removed it I had removed it to make more room for other things.
Let me see. No, we don't have it on. We don't have it on the backup.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's disappointing, but that's okay. We'll show it another time.
Yeah. I'm double checking under Chicago Corner. I think I had to remove it because we needed space. Yeah, it's not there. But anyway, once again, cheers to Mr. Cabello. All right, everybody. Ed, I guess you're going to take us out.
And yes, and I guess also happy birthday to the clones, since I guess it's your birthdays as well.
Probably.
Technically. Although your clone batch emergence day may also count as a birthday, depending, on how you feel about that. But so happy birthday, and whenever your clone emergence day, happy day for that as well. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Come back and join us again on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, where Jerry gets to ride the bus or drive the bus.
I prefer to say I'm in the captain's seat.
He's in the captain's seat.
Mr. Heller.
As long as I don't drive this thing off into a ditch, as usual. So thank you very much for joining us this evening.
I will be in the captain's seat on Fridays.
Yes, and so sabotage.
I'd say sabotage.
Sabotage. Good night, everybody.
Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.